All right. Hey, everyone. What's
Hello.
going on?
Hello.
Hey, what's going on, everyone? Thank you so much for joining in. And thanks so much for tuning into this live stream. And you might be thinking, well, Mike, you jumped on last night kind of randomly. That's true. And then tonight is, it's kind of like last minute announcement and such, but I have been talking to the guys over the last couple of weeks about trying to put this together. So yeah, welcome anyone who is joining live after the fact. If you are tuning in live, feel free to leave any of your horror stories about the cinema or movie theater. It's called in America. We'll read them out, we'll interact with them, and we'll share them. So I just want to introduce my guests firstly. And firstly is, well, both guys have been on the channel before. But these guys are part of a weekly stream that they do called The Rendered Image. So we've got a little bit of a collaboration to do. Got kind of like Z Rendered Image. That's what I'm going to call it.
The Z Rendered Image, yep.
Right. So yeah, my first guest is Tyler Babb. So Tyler, how you doing, man?
I am doing wonderful. It's been a great week, and we have a lot of stuff planned. We're actually going to film a show tonight, so I'm very excited. Yeah.
Exactly.
Talking Comic-Con, so.
Hell yeah.
Oh, sweet. Okay.
Yeah, we're a little late on that just because I had a wedding last weekend, so we weren't able to record one. But yeah, so we're going to talk all about Comic-Con.
Hell yeah.
Nice. Yeah, there was some massive announcements on that Comic-Con, which I'm very excited for, and some of them I'm not so excited for. So I can't wait to hear kind of your guys' discussions, and then I kind of chip in my thoughts and stuff. I'll leave it in the comments.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Because I think by the time you guys record it, or I don't know if you're going to be going live, or you're just going to like kind of set it as like a pre-recording.
Yeah, I think it's going to be pre-recorded. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Cool. So yeah, I'll leave my comments in.
Hell yeah, man.
But yeah, so firstly, I just want to go over to Tyler. So Tyler, for anyone who's watching and who doesn't know you or anything like that, and seeing you for the first ever time, do you want to tell everyone a little bit about your channel and what people can expect?
Yeah. So over at my channel, obviously Christian is on there too. He co-hosts The Rendered Image with me, along with our buddy Shannon. And we do movie news and filmmaking content as well, trailer reactions, movie reviews, and I'm starting a series where we dive deeper into the filmmaking aspect of a bunch of things. I'm going to break down music videos and famous movie scenes and stuff like that. So I really want to dive into more of the filmmaking aspect on my channel moving forward, and Christian will be there along with me with The Rendered Image and Shannon. It's a fun time. The shows are about, an hour and a half. Sometimes we go, especially with the Comic-Con one, I think it's going to be quite long. But
whenever it's Marvel and DC, we go on, man.
Exactly. we go pretty long. But yeah, no, I'm very excited. I have a couple of movie reviews coming up. I saw Nope, so I got to get that review out. So that's what's up.
Hell yeah.
Oh, dude, that's awesome. The cool thing is, though, it's like I've been seeing a lot of people posting reviews for Nope, but we don't get it in the UK for like another 2-3 weeks.
Oh, wow.
Right. So I'm seeing all these spoiler-free reviews, which is great.
Nice.
But I'm kind of like, I've seen so many reviews now to the point I'm like, I just want to see the damn movie.
Yeah.
So I know what's going on. But yeah, dude, I can't wait to hear your reviews. I always like how the way you break down movies, talk about them, especially with your kind of like video background and your history in general about movies and how you break it down. So yeah.
Yes. Christian is way better than me. For sure,
Oh, come on, man!
I do.
I get deep in the visual effects.
Yes, but I don't. I mean, I'm pumping up Christian here, but I love to watch Christian and you, Mike. So,
thank you.
Awesome.
Yeah,
no, appreciate it, dude. And then, well, anyone who isn't subscribed to Tyler's channel, the link is in the description box below. I believe, are you guys near to 400 or not too far away?
We're 330 something on the channel. It's kind of, the algorithm likes to stick us. we're kind of stuck right now. But I don't know. And we've talked about maybe trying to go live again and doing that whole thing because we used to do the show live. We've kind of tossed that around. Maybe we'll start doing that again. But
it is still steady growing, though. That is.
It is. Yes, it is.
Beautiful to see.
It is.
Just those numbers go up 1 or 2. It's like, oh, thank you so much. That means so much, man.
Yes.
Well, hopefully after this stream, you guys can grow more. So yes, let's try getting to 350 because that would be an awesome milestone.
That would be great.
They can record that tonight and be like, we've just hit 350 today. So
we did it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Go subscribe to Tyler Babb and join into the weekly streams that they do of The Rendered Image. Such great conversations, and I kind of hope that you guys go live again. So I can interact like in the moment and be like, hey guys, even if it's like shoot the clock here, I'll try tune in.
Oh yeah.
Definitely. So yeah, Tyler, great to have you back on the channel, man. And
Yes.
Christian, you were on the channel about, I think, 3-4 weeks ago now, if I'm not mistaken.
To me, it still feels like last week, man.
Dude, right. It
Yeah.
really does. But yeah, you joined me for my weekly live stream, Z Talks, which was awesome. One time it was you and Jacob Martin, who we have got in the house. So hey, Jacob.
What's up, Jacob?
Oh yeah,
hope you're doing good.
Hope you're having a great weekend.
Right. Yeah, I hope everyone's having a great weekend. The England women football team beat Germany tonight, so they won the cup. So that's awesome as well. So congratulations to the England women's team. But yeah, Christian, so your channel, To The Lens, of course, you're on Tyler's channel for the rendered image. But for your own channel, do you want to tell everyone a little bit about what you cover over on your channel?
Yeah, over on my channel, I do a lot of trailer reactions. I kept it minimum to the teaser and then the first official trailer. I really like trailer number 2, 3, Super Bowl promo, whatever. No, none of that. It's too much to show. So just the official, official trailer and teaser. And then I like to do movie reviews and television reviews. In terms of the television reviews, I might do episode by episode, depending if it's like a mini series. But most of the time, I would like to review a series per season. And I think that's like the most genuine way to kind of properly critique it. And other than that, I do a lot of back and forth with Shannon and Tyler over on the rendered image. That's where a lot of like the rants go on, all the other topics that I don't get to cover on my channel, I get to go over and talk with them about, so that's really cool. But yeah, on my channel I stick to reviews and reactions, so stay tuned for that. But I haven't been uploading recently because I've been busy with a little short film in a summer program in one of my neighborhoods, and I'm working with a lot of high schoolers and young 20-year-olds, so it's like college students and high school. It's like a nice little mix there, and just getting a little story together that's in the community and using the resources around us is a very challenging yet rewarding experience. We're moving on to post-production right now, so it's pretty cool working with a whole new set of people like that. Yeah.
Oh, dude, that's awesome. And when you guys have finished the short movie, where's it going to be showcasing on?
Oh, we would love to try to submit it into some festivals, see if we can get selected. But if worse comes to worse and it doesn't go that route, it will probably be on either my YouTube channel or somewhere available that way. Vimeo or YouTube.
Nice.
Yeah, I'll keep you guys updated for sure.
Nice. Yeah, dude. Yeah, definitely. Please do. Have you guys thought about maybe doing like a Kickstarter to get like a physical media kind of release for it? So
we didn't go that far as to like a physical release. The farthest we talked about was film festivals. Let's try to shoot for those youth festivals like Cine Youth or something like that. Whoever will take us in. So yeah, that would be pretty cool to venture into that whole.
Get it over in a UK festival. Have Mike. Yeah, right. Mike's got to hook it up.
Yeah, let's do it. Hook us up with some festivals over there. Short film. Yeah, we're gonna be relatively 10 minutes, so they might choose us. If it's shorter in length over someone that's longer, you get to show more content that way at a festival. So yeah, it's gonna be pretty exciting to see the distribution side of it going forward.
It's always the hardest part.
It really is.
Right. Yeah, I can't imagine like the work that goes into something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys obviously have more experience in your own respective fields, but me, I just do YouTube, so I would never do. But we can all understand how long it takes to edit the video to put on the YouTube itself. So I can only imagine about a movie.
Yeah, exactly.
Same idea. You can make it, but how does it get seen by people? There's that hustle.
Right.
I want this many eyes on it. How do I get that? It's same idea.
Right. Yeah, dude. Well, I'm excited to see it, and please keep me updated. I'm sure I'll hear about maybe even on the rendered images also. So,
I would bring it up to them as well. Yeah.
Well, dude, I'm excited for it, and I just want to invite everyone. And also, if you're not subscribed to Christian channel To The Lens, the link is in the description box below. Please go subscribe to, and Tyler,
thank you.
That would be awesome. So, for anyone who is brand new to this segment. It's called Cinema Horror Stories, where I'll invite different guests on each time I do one of these. It's not every week, it's when I can get the guests and we can all align our schedules. And basically, we just talk about cinema at the moment. We talk about some horrific experiences that we've had. We've had some shared from Blacktastic Media, Rashad G, Anthony Perez, IMO Reviews, Jacob Martin, Q Reviews, and today we've got Tyler and Christian. So before we dive into them, we have got some comments. We've got Josh from Classic Reviews saying, "Hey guys, how are we all?" Hey Josh.
Hey, how you doing?
We've got Lego News saying, "Sup." So, hey,
sup. I like who's the picture of in the thumbnail or in the thumbnail there.
Lego
Not the thumbnail, but
I wonder if it's like a Lego version of himself. That'd be pretty fun.
oh yeah, cool. I like that.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I think, Christian, I think you're right. I think it's a Lego version of himself. I've seen Lego on news on a couple of live streams on his own, and it looks vaguely like him, to be honest. So I'm not too sure. But yeah, we've also got Sophie saying evening, gents. So hey, Sophie.
Good evening, Sophie.
Evening.
Tuning in. And she's also saying here, watched Monster Squad for the first time last night. It was dumb fun. Have you guys seen it?
Wow.
No.
A long time. That is like a distant memory. That's the one with all the Universal monsters together, right? I believe that's the same one we're talking about, Monster Squad. Yeah, that was a fun one. Not so scary because they're all like teaming up together, you know? It's kind of like feels like a Saturday morning cartoon, if I remember. I gotta rewatch that now since you brought it up. You unlocked the nostalgia. You unlocked the nostalgia thing in my brain, man.
The nostalgia.
Yeah, that's cool.
Okay, well, I'm glad one of us has seen it.
Yeah, me too.
It's been a while. I don't remember a lot of it, but I remember that's a thing. Yep. They if in the Dark Universe was a thing and it was successful, I think that would have been their Avengers right there. Or Monster Squad.
Interesting.
Everyone's in there. Yeah.
Right. So yeah, because I think they were trying to do something like that. I think was it 2017 with The Mummy with Tom Cruise?
Yeah.
And
exactly.
that whole monster universe something.
Yeah, Russell Crowe was like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. And so they were trying to build a whole thing with that. And Johnny Depp was supposed to be the Invisible Man, but they went a whole different direction with the Invisible Man.
Yep, I remember that, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, because they released the Invisible Man as a different movie though, didn't they?
Yeah, something on its own.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they built because I remember it's DreamWorks or no Universal, right? So in the Universal lot, they built like a bunch of new offices and staffed a whole bunch of new people, like hired all these people to work on this new universe. Yeah. And then after the Mummy like failed, they just let everybody go. They're like, nope, sorry. And all those people, I feel bad for those people because they lost their jobs, and it's like they staff up this whole crew to work on these movies.
Passionate people too, I'm sure they were there for the work, but they were probably also fans too, and thanking their lucky stars. But yeah, you're right. It is very unfortunate.
It's crazy. I mean, a little fun fact actually I can share here is recently I took a trip down to Dorchester and stayed with one of my friends. And when we were there, me and a guy called Pete. So shout out to Pete if he's watching this.
What's up, Pete?
Hey, Pete.
Hey, Pete.
So he actually took me to this studio called the Twins FX. And when we were there, I had to sign an NDA. So I was only allowed to take specific pictures when I was told to. But when I was actually there, the story of this is, now that we're talking about the Mummy very quickly, is they had the big like Egyptian kind of like statue silhouettes.
Oh, wow.
They had a couple of them like in the back. And dude, there must have been at least like 3 times my height.
Oh, wow.
4 times. They were massive. And then when I saw them, I was like, whoa, can I take a picture? And they're like, no, it's sensitive. So I was like, oh.
It's sensitive.
Yeah,
you will awaken the curse.
Right.
Flash photography.
They're going to wake up if you do that.
Yeah, don't mess with ancient Egyptians. Yeah,
it's crazy. Honestly, there's so much stuff I saw on that tour. I'll talk to you guys about it in the separate after this.
Yeah, definitely. It sounds like fun.
Yeah, that sounds
awesome.
Really cool.
But yeah, well, thank you, Sophie, for the comment. And again, anyone who's watching live, feel free to leave any of your kind of like horrific kind of like cinema experiences you have, and we'll read them out. We're going to get to them very shortly. I just want to read these last 2 comments. We've got Josh saying, I saw a film called Honor Society on Paramount Plus, and I have to say it was a blast.
Wow.
Never heard of it.
Nice. Interesting. Yeah, that's
you guys
Gaten?
Yes.
Zero from Stranger Things?
Yes. I literally saw an ad for this on Facebook, I think it was, like 20 minutes before we went live. Hadn't heard of it before, but now
seen a lot of
I've heard of it, yeah.
On Paramount Plus, CBS, because CBS and Paramount, same company.
Okay.
So yeah, I saw a lot of commercials for it. It's like Honor Society, look at here, there. But yeah, it's awesome to hear that it was a blast, because it's not really, it's not really calling my name to be like, I gotta watch this, But if it's funny and if it has a good sense of humor to it, I might check it out. I have access to Paramount Plus, so I might just check it out. That's like the official first review I heard. It was a blast. So that's the first thing I heard of anyone say anything about it. So that's awesome. So far, so good.
Yeah. Ah, it's awesome. Well, I think maybe about 2-3 weeks ago, maximum now, we just got Paramount Plus in the UK.
Oh wow,
Nice.
But I don't know. There's so many streaming services. I'm just like, I'm not signing up for the one.
yeah, that's a lot.
You gotta pick and choose.
We've got a comment from Sophie. She says, Tyler, love the Harry Potter poster. Which one's your favorite?
Here we go. You opened just
very quickly. She says, for me, it's either Chamber of Secrets, Prisoner of Azkaban, or Deathly Hallows Part 2.
Oh man, I mean, do you really want to get me going on this rant? Oh boy. My favorite one. That's tough, man. I think the third film is the best. See, you get me going. Here we go. I'm going to keep it real short because we go real long. The third one is probably the best made in terms of on a filmmaking level. I think the fourth one is the best achievement because that book was so long and they managed to cram so much into it. And I think having the mystery and the kind of the Alfred Hitchcock influences in that movie, it was a great tone to take with that book. So yeah, I would say 3 and 4 are probably my favorite. I was a little, you could never, and for the 7 part 2, in my opinion, I don't think you could ever live up to that final book. That final book was so dang good. And kind of the climax of that book and what they did not directly represent that on the screen. They kind of changed some things that I wasn't a fan of. They went the more spectacle route instead of emotional route, if you've read the last book. And so that kind of soured that last one for me. But yeah, so I would say 3 and 4 are my favorites.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, man.
Nice.
3 was always so cool. I remember seeing 3 and they're like werewolves. As a kid, I'm like, there's fucking werewolves here, man. That's awesome. Gary Oldman, let's go, man. Yeah, that was
yeah.
Awesome.
I can't agree more. I think it was like very late last year. I wrapped up with Jacob Martin on his channel doing collabs of all the movies because I hadn't seen them all in its entirety.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, my favorite's Prisoner of Azkaban.
Yeah,
nice.
Best film. Yeah.
Yeah.
But, Christian, what about you?
In terms of favorite Harry Potter, yeah, you heard it. Prisoner of Azkaban, man. I loved it. The Mentors as well. That was just like, because I loved Lord of the Rings, man. So I loved the ring wraiths, the Dark Riders.
Mm-hmm.
When I saw something like an equivalent to that in Harry Potter, I'm like, that's pretty badass.
Yes.
There's only one certain spell that can get rid of them too, and that's the one Harry had to learn. So I'm like, that's pretty cool.
Yep.
And I even went to Universal and I picked up Harry Potter's wand there.
Oh, he's just got it all ready to go. He's like, I knew Tyler was going to be out, so I knew we were going to talk about Harry Potter. Here's a wand.
Bam. A wand.
He's been
Harry Potter
waiting for this moment.
Wand. Look at that.
Yes.
That was cool.
Dude, that's
man.
sweet.
It was a whole thing too, because they have it decked out. It's like in the movie where they're all on shelves. You just see all the different character names and stuff. I've been there once. It's expensive to go. I don't think I'm going back anytime soon. But I think the next one I would probably get if I had the money and the opportunity would be Voldemort's bone wand. They have the hero and the villain. That would just be so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, that's awesome. I remember when I last went to Florida, which I'm actually going to in September.
Nice.
I remember going to like Universal and and the Harry Potter world that they have there. And I can definitely appreciate it more this time that I go that I've seen all the movies now.
Exactly, yeah. That must have been interesting going and not having seen the movies. Must have been an interesting experience.
So this is the thing, right? So I said this on Night of Collabs, but I'll tell everyone who's watching now and yourself, Tyler, because I know you're a big fan. So in the past, I had seen the first Harry Potter movie, the third one, the fourth one, and number 6, 7, and 8.
Okay.
And just like 2 of the pivotal ones.
Yeah.
Right?
But that's a good amount, but yeah.
Right. But I mean, these were over like since, the last time I saw the Philosopher's Stone, which is called here, but I think you guys it's called Sorcerer's Stone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd seen that movie when it originally came out in the cinema. So obviously I can't remember it, until I recently watched it.
So that would have been November of 2001. So that's good. Good. Yeah.
Yeah. Because I remember in my review I was like, oh, it's the 20th anniversary. So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
Yep. I did a whole for the 20th anniversary. I did a whole stream where I watched the movie. It's on my channel. I watched the movie and like I'm just reacting to the movie as it's playing and stuff. Yeah.
Oh wow, dude! you should have done a full stream on your channel watching all 8 of them.
Wow. No bathroom breaks.
Yeah, right.
Maybe someday.
That'd be crazy.
When I retire and I'm old, you know what I'm saying, we kick it on. That's when we'll have time to do it.
Yeah.
Right. Dude, I'm down. Well, we got Jacob saying last night we set up a projector outside and watched a movie outside on the back porch.
Nice.
And my family watched The Lost City together on Paramount Plus, and we all enjoyed it.
Yes, I liked that movie a lot. That was fun.
Yeah, it's a fun movie. Definitely nice to see like Channing Tatum return as well.
Yes.
Daniel Radcliffe was awesome.
Yes.
Great segue into that from Harry Potter now to The Lost City.
Yes,
Right.
Thank you, Jacob. Yes.
Absolutely. And we've got Sophie saying I will drop you guys a sub. So awesome.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sophie.
Thank you.
And yeah, please go subscribe to the channel if you're not already, to Tyler and Christian's. And now we're going to get into the nitty and gritty of this. So I'm excited. So yeah, anyone tuning in live, we're going to share some horror stories from the cinema experiences. So if you've got any, I'll drop them in the comments. I'm going to drop one actually very quickly. And this was, I referenced it in my DC League of Super Pets review I recently just did. And I went to see DC League of Super Pets on Friday.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a 6:10 show in here, but it doesn't start till maybe like 6:30, 20 to 7 after the trails and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew straight away, I thought, right, well, it's kids' holidays here in the UK till like early September. So I was thinking, you know, parents aren't going to do this sensible thing, maybe just take them early in the day or early morning. They'll just take them at night, right? So I got in there, and straight away there was parents with the kids, and there was like the kids were talking and screaming, and I was like, I'm not getting a quiet show in here.
No.
Definitely not. So I actually put on my Instagram, I was like, do you guys think the kids will shut up? Yes or no? and everyone voted no.
No.
Wow.
And it was true. It was true. It happened. But then the worst thing about this whole experience though is the family that was sat next to me, they were actually silent about the whole movie. So I was like, right, that's awesome. But then like I could still hear voices like on that side of me though, like on the other side.
Mm-hmm.
But then like the seats down from me, there was a family like just to this right hand side. And for some reason, like 2 or 3 times throughout the movie, one of the parents decided to just put their torch on their phone. I was just like flashing it like this, and I'm like, what the hell are you doing? And I was like,
All right.
because I thought, oh,
That's
maybe,
weird.
I mean, I don't know about you guys in the States, but here in the UK, like the aisle, obviously to go up and down stairs to get to your seat, they're always illuminated so you can see the row numbers and stuff.
Yep. Same here.
Yeah.
Right. So
Exactly.
I was thinking, well, what have they got the torch on for? I was like, have they got maybe like eye issues and or like sight issues kind of thing? And like, do they need the light on kind of? I was like, fair enough.
There's
Nope.
people in my theater that do the exact same thing. They walk in with a flashlight and they just walk right in, and they're like, okay, right there. You know, you can't help but just see it in your peripherals. And you're just like, I just hope you find your seat really quickly. Not
Right.
next to me, not next to me, not next to me. You know, but
Right.
yeah, it does get pretty annoying.
Yeah, it's bad enough when that happens, but I mean, this was just randomly just during the film.
Yeah, that's I don't know.
That's
It was-
random.
They
Multiple
must have
times.
dropped something, or I don't know.
And I still don't know why they did it to this point. But yeah, it's fair to say I did not have a quiet showing during the DC League of Super Pets, which wasn't good. So Tyler, I'm going to throw it over to you, man. Do you want to share a story that you've got?
Oh yeah, I don't have a ton because I mean, you know, my theater experiences have been, you know, pretty tame, like pretty good. There was one time, the not the craziest, but I was with my girlfriend at the time. It was one of our first dates that we were on, and
Right.
the movie had ended, and she couldn't find her phone. She's like, "Oh, I don't have my phone. Like, I don't know what happened to it. Like, you know, do you see it around here?" Like, and we were looking on the floor and everything, and we couldn't find it. And so I ended up having to get down on my hands and knees, and I had to crawl on the sticky floor
Oh,
looking for her phone. And you know, and I kept saying, well, you know, maybe you left it back home, like back in my place. Like maybe it's sitting on the bed or something. She's like, no, I think it's here. I think it's here. So I was crawling all around and trying to find it, and we couldn't find it. And get back home and realize there it is, sitting on the bed.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, I didn't have to crawl on this floor. So, yeah. But, you know, I was trying to be a good boyfriend and find the phone. And
Yeah.
so That's after the movie. That's not during the movie, but yeah, that's one of the theater experiences I will never forget. Is
I thought she leaned over to you in the middle of the movie. She's like, "Hey, can you just find my phone right now?" Just like, all right, I will sacrifice the movie.
No, yeah, it was after. I can't remember what we were seeing. I think was it Beauty and the Beast? I can't remember, but
okay.
Oh, dude,
Yeah.
you know the worst thing is though, like whenever you guys go to the cinemas though, like the cinema staff never get enough time to clean the floors or like
of
take
course,
up the trash and stuff, you know. Especially if it's like a movie that's on like 12 times a day or more.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
It's
They just come in with a broom, sweep it up. And, yeah, no, they don't put any elbow grease in there.
never enough time.
Never enough time.
Nah, like the some stuff like when I went to see DC Legal Super Pets the other day, there was a guy on the ticket where they rip the tickets when you go in, the ushers, and I recognize him at this cinema I've been going to for at least like 6 years, so I recognize. I don't know his name, and I don't think he knows mine, but I recognize him. You know, I was like, "Oh, hey man," I was like, "How you doing?" Like, you know, long time no see. He's like, "Yeah, I'm good. I'll be done in a couple of hours." I was like, "All right." So I was like, "Look, I'll watch that time," and it was like, it's gonna be like midnight. He finished, and I was like, "What movie's on until midnight?" The last shows are like 8 o'clock, like maybe 9 o'clock maximum.
Yeah.
I was like, "There's no 3-hour epic on right now." I was like,
Right.
Until midnight.
There's no Christopher Nolan film. What are we doing here?
Right. I mean, that's in like 11 months' time with whatever countdown it's got at the moment, you know.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, dude, that's an awful story. Like, sorry to me that you had that ball in your hand and knees.
Yeah, it was definitely never doing that again.
Nah.
But that sounds like a very intimate story with you in the theater. You know, like no one's ever gotten that intimate with a movie theater.
Not even the people cleaning the floors have gotten that intimate,
so
right? They don't even on their hands and knees.
You really call yourself a moviegoer because you've been on the ground.
Right? I've been on the ground level here, okay?
Man.
I know them very intimately.
Oh, dude. Well, Christian, have you got a story to share?
Yeah, I think I would share one of my recent ones. I went to go see Nope a second time with my parents, and it was crowd was fine. It wasn't that packed of a theater. But what really was throwing me off was the projector, the screen, the aspect ratio was way bigger than the actual screen on the wall. So you had like a good 2 inches of the screen on the curtains and outside of the edge. And I didn't want to get up and complain because I know a lot of people like that because that theater
I would have
projector issues before.
Yeah.
That theater had projector issues before, and I complained about it before, and I knew there's not a lot of care or effort that goes into the screening of the movie itself. So I knew either they were going to stop showing the movie altogether and just give us tickets, or they're going to say we tried our best and that's the best we can do, and probably like mess it up even more. So I'm like, let me just keep it how it is because it's not overly bad because a lot of people weren't thrown off by it. But if you just pay attention to those edges, they were clearly outside of that frame. And I'm just like, oh, this sucks. This sucks. But regardless, the movie was still good. I enjoyed it. My parents enjoyed it. And it wasn't like so punched in to where it was like people were cut off frame. It's just a nice little 2 inches were there, and I'm like, oh, okay, whatever. But I'm glad that wasn't my first time watching it. The first time watching, I did have the normal experience, and that was a relatively packed theater, and people were reacting to that way more loudly. So that was pretty cool. And I think I saw that on the Monday, so the weekend after its first weekend that it showed, so that Monday of. So I didn't think there was going to be a lot of people there, but it was a good little chunk of people there, and that was pretty cool.
Nice.
But yeah, man, the projector. These movie theaters, they need projectionists. They're real in need of projection.
They need people.
And I remember I sent in a resume to that movie theater. Not called me back yet. I mean, how? Because you have no one working there. Like
you can go in like me and be like, look, I know this theater better than anybody. Okay, I understand. Like I see you missing the screen here. Okay,
exactly. It's not
fix your frame size.
Exactly. Yeah.
That would have ticked me off. I couldn't deal. I would have got up. I couldn't have dealt with that. I'm like, nope.
Yeah, but I know how the theater was, and that's,
I know.
I remember. Okay, going into another one with the same projection issue, the Batman, and this was like my third time watching the Batman, so I knew that the movie did not start like this. So the framing is fine; it fit on the wall, right? But when it starts playing, you get that whole, the first person view of Riddler, right? He's watching everything, and it's so dramatic. It gets you into it. I love that opening. But when we started, I remember the screen just starts flashing, white and red colors, and it just starts flashing like that. But you still see the movie playing, and it says The Batman, the title, and it keeps going, and no one's moving. I'm looking around. I'm like, is no one going to complain? And people are just there watching, eating it. Like, oh, I'm like, are they thinking this is how the movie starts? Like, no, I'm like, this could give someone an epileptic seizure. Like, how is no one complaining about this? And I remember I got up and I walked, and it was a really packed theater, like the most packed. Like, they had their big auditorium for it too, you know. So, and I walked up and I walked to the back, and I remember I saw one of the employees there, and he was standing by the light switch because, you know, they turn the light switch down whenever the movie starts. So he was standing there, and this is the beginning of the movie. So I walk up, and I just see him standing there with his hand on the light switch, looking at the screen. And I'm like, "Are you gonna do anything about this?" And he's like, "It's not supposed to be like this, right?" Oh, jeez, bro. I'm like, "No, it's not. If you walk into any other movie, it doesn't flash colors at you. You know, it's like, no, it's not." And so I find it hilarious how people are like, "Is this part of the movie?" Or because if it is, okay, I'll get into it. You know, it's like, no, it's not. Please shield your eyes. You could get a seizure right now.
Yeah.
And so I told them, and they finally said, but here's the thing too. It's like they can't directly go upstairs to the projectionist. It's like, let me get my manager. And then the manager comes, is like, okay, let me get my higher up. And then it's like everyone's getting their higher up. Just go to the projectionist, man. Like, just go up there and tell him something. It's like, well, let me tell so and so. Let me call corporate or something. It's like, well, meanwhile, people are still in the theater getting like flashing lights in their eyes. So yeah, it's like you know, it's gonna be a whole thing. You know?
Sometimes it is up to us, Christian, to take on the role of fixing the problem, because the people do not know.
Anyone could be a hero. Anyone could wear a mask.
well, not all heroes wear capes, right?
Exactly. Sometimes they wear glasses. Okay.
Yes. Right.
Yes.
Right.
Like really pissed off because they're passionate about movies and they want to watch it properly. God forbid we watch a movie properly.
Right.
But I mean, it's just one of those things, though. It's like, I think especially when, like you were saying, Christian, when you went to go see Nope for the second time, right?
Yeah.
You've obviously had this experience of it. Then I think you said you went with your family, right?
Yes, my parents.
Right. So you've gone to your family and they're like, right, Christian, what was this movie like? How good is it? Like on a 1 to 10, whatever the case would be. Mm-hmm. And then you're hyping it up. You're like, wow, this one maybe one of the best experiences of the year, whatever, right? So when you went to go see that show, and then obviously like the screen's out and onto the curtains, right? When you walk out that movie, despite how good that movie is, the one thing your family's going to remember is, wow, that screen was really off. Like, they're not going to remember the experience. They're going to be like, remember that time the projector wasn't working?
Yeah.
Right?
That's hilarious. Yeah, and they remember that with the Batman because they were with me for the screening of the Batman. So they remember, I remember just blacked out in the beginning. Remember that? And I remember the only time people cheered during that movie is when it blacked out in the beginning because they had to restart the movie. People just cheered, and I'm like, you idiots. I'm sorry, but it's like, what are you doing, man? But so I think the only other time they did cheer is after the penguin driving scene, because that sequence is pretty awesome.
It's pretty great. Yeah.
Clap after that. Like, okay, yeah, we'll give our claps to it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you're right, man. If a screaming, if anything with the projectors messed up, that does ruin the immersion. After you sat through,
100%.
I don't know if you guys have this, but in AMC, every single showing in AMC, you see Nicole Kidman at the beginning. So you sit through those trailers, then you see the promo,
and we all know why.
And we all,
because they spent $8 million making that spot.
That is such an expensive.
So they're gonna use that till we're all in the ground.
Yep, that's like a mainstay now. So like I remember I wanted to go see No Way Home. So many home titles. No Way Home. And I remember my friend, when I got up to use the bathroom after the last trailer played, I got up to use the bathroom and my friend was like, hey, hurry up, you're gonna miss it, it's about to start. I'm like, don't worry, Nicole Kidman still got to show up. He's like, I got like a good 10 minutes still. It's like, don't worry. And I made it back in time. So so you sit through all that, and then for it to just stop, and then you got to restart, the projection, because it's just it's all on the projector. Really takes you out of it, man. Like you said, man, it just really takes you out of it. And it sucks. Yeah. So theaters need projectionists, especially
it really does. I mean, so like here in the UK, our AMC is called Cineworld.
Mhm.
It's like part of the same family. I don't know if like AMC owned them. I'm assuming they probably do. So we never got the Nicole Kidman treatment of it. but instead, like, surely the logical thing in that meeting, right, must be like, right, we've got $8 million for this promo. Okay, what can we do with this $8 million, right?
Right.
And surely someone at that table must have thought, why don't we just hire a bunch of randoms, put a job search out, hire a bunch of randoms, get this idea, and it might cost 10,000, 15,000 to shoot. And some wise arse in the corners might be like, let's get Nicole Kidman. I heard she's
right, exactly.
Yeah.
And they're like,
she's available.
Give a round of applause. Yeah, great idea. That
great idea. And
5 years.
Yeah, it's just it's so interesting because it wouldn't be so bad if like it's the placement of the spot, right? If it was up front and if it was before all the trailers, I don't think I would mind it as much. But it's the fact that you sit through like 15 to 20 minutes of trailers and then she pops on and it's like what? Why? Like and it's like it's weird. It goes trailers and then it's like the AMC logo. Right, like with the Coke animation and everything, celebrating 100 years, blah blah blah, and then it's like, oh, that's great, and then we have Nicole Kidman. It's like, what? Why are we?
We come to the movies to be wowed.
Yeah, we come to the yes. Oh, there's no play. We come here to dream and to cry. It's like
heartbreak feels good in a place like this.
Yeah, heartbreak feels good in a
place
right. Well, see, so over here in the UK, so I would think the reason why they do that is because there might be like moviegoers like us that will literally go there for like half an hour early to go watch every single trailer. Sometimes we might time it where we miss all the trailers and just start before the movie's going to start.
Right.
Whatever. But I think most people probably just think, well, I don't want to see their own like adverts. I want to see the movie trailers. So by the time they're going to get in there, that's when time like Nicole Kidman's going to pop up.
Right. And
so I'm assuming that's why. But like over here in the UK, what we had a while ago was Cineworld, because like they do a lot of big premieres in Leicester Square in London. Is they'll do like interviews with stars, whether it's like Ryan Gosling, Harrison Ford, whoever. Yeah. And I know one trailer they did a while ago was they took part of those interviews they did with like Zendaya, Tom Holland, stuff like that, and like just use like keywords to be like, oh, the cinema is such a magical experience, or like I love sitting next to a stranger and seeing their reactions and stuff. I'm like, okay, cool.
Who does that? That's creepy.
Right, well, exactly. But that was like in your face, like at the time when you thought, right, it's all done now, just before the movie starts as well, before like, the actual trailer's finished. That pops up,
Yeah. I don't know. That's some executive said, "Ooh, this is a good idea." Like, okay.
Right.
All right.
People want.
Dude, I don't know, but yeah, Jacob was saying about Christian story. Says Christian sounds like your theater is run by dummies.
It really is. It really is. AMC,
I mean, that's the best way to explain it.
That's putting it nicely.
He also says, speaking of Beauty and the Beast and everything, I'll never forget the time my mom jumped out of the seat when Gaston shoots the Beast. Okay.
I think so. Like, I'll get into this mode where if I really enjoy a movie, like I'll go see that thing like 3-4 times. And with Beauty and the Beast, we went to go see that. I think we maybe saw that 3 times in the theater together, my girlfriend and I at the time. Okay. And every time, I have a similar story. It wasn't when Gaston shoots the Beast, but it's when this like stone falls and breaks the bridge that Gaston is on. It's like before he falls to his death or whatever. And every time that thing fell, I always jumped. Like every single time, like it freaked me out, even though I knew it was coming. And my girlfriend at the time thought that was hilarious, that I was always scared by that rock. So
hilarious.
I can relate, Jacob.
Dude, you know what? Like, I'll admit it now, I've never seen Beauty and the Beast, like any adaptation of it.
Oh.
Okay.
So, I mean, that's a big spoiler right there, what Jacob said. So,
big spoiler.
Right. It really is.
Give it some time, you'll forget.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely want to check it out. I've heard good things about it, especially the original.
The original's great, yeah.
Just never seen it.
Yeah, the Disney one was awesome.
Awesome. Well, we've got some more stories to share, but yeah, anyone who's watching live, drop them in the comments right now. We'll share experiences. We'll talk about them. But going back onto the subject of Christian was saying about like the picture being out of frame. I remember seeing, I don't know, was it called Predators? I think the third one.
Plural. Robert Rodriguez, right?
Was it Adrian Brody?
Adrian Brody, yeah.
Adrian Brody, that one. I remember seeing that one in the cinema. And I remember like the opening shot. I think like the opening shot is like going into the forest or a plane flying over the forest or something like that. I can't remember. And I remember like say this is like the top of the screen, and the picture was like down here, right? And so you got like the surround sound going like with like the helicopter flying in, and like the picture was like half missing. So, I was like, what the hell's going on? I was like, I'm assuming some chopper or something's going by right now. and that moment when Tyler was saying like you would go out and say something, I was about to, but then some guy beat me to it. So I was like, at least I don't have to go out and say something.
Nice, yeah.
Because there's nothing worse when you have to go out and do something about the situation.
Right.
Because especially like if it's someone talking or it's like projector issues, especially with Christian, that's what he's used to now. You know, spends the first 5 minutes.
I just walk right upstairs. Tell someone. Says, "I got it, guys. Don't worry." You know, I think I was at the same movie theater that I took my friend to go see Top Gun Maverick, and it was shortly after the last time I was on your show, and I remember that was when you guys said you didn't see it. Like, what are you doing? Like, did you even, you know? And so I'm like, yeah, all right, let me go and see it. I remember I saw the first one the night before, wasn't too hot about it. I'm like, it was hit or miss, you know. I'm like, it's okay, you know, it wasn't my cup of tea. But then Maverick was like, you know, really quickly blew me away, man. It blew my friend away as well. We were having a great time. Like, holy shit, man, this is amazing. This is like, what, you know? But the thing is, when we first saw it, we went to it was a noon showing. It was, as I remember, it was an afternoon showing, noon showing, and we went there. We're watching it, and I think like good 20 minutes into it, the screen goes black. It just shuts off. It just flickers off. I'm just like, that was a terrible way to cut to black. Like the editors of this movie, I was ready to critique the movie. I'm like, is that a real cut in the movie? That was really odd. It was like in the middle of Miles Teller's line. Like, it just cut off. I'm like, that's a weird edit. But nothing came back, and I'm like, oh, did the projector shut off or what happened? It just like someone just unplugged it, and it was just my friend and I in the front row, and then like 2 elderly people in the back, and that was it. So guess who got up? So I went.
The hero of the day.
Exactly. So I went and I told him like, hey, you know, there's theater auditorium 11, Top Gun's not playing. All right, let me tell my manager. You know, so we wait and stuff like that. And then 2 employees come in and they're like, okay, so we're having trouble playing this film right now. We could go to the guest service counter and we can either give you a refund for the ticket or you can get another showing, you know, either for a different movie or whatever the case may be. So we went over to the customer service thing, and my friend was like, that was a really good movie, man. I kind of want to finish it. And I'm like, yeah, me too. I don't want to go home without finishing it too, right?
Right.
So I'm like, okay, let's do the 6 o'clock showing. It's noon, 6 o'clock. I think that's enough time for them to get their stuff together. Let's
hopefully.
Yeah, right. That's 6 hours. Let's do 6 o'clock.
They should just shut the theater down if they can't get us together in that time.
Sorry, guys, we're closed.
Sorry,
let's do the 6 o'clock showing. Hopefully by then everything's up and running. And then she's like, here's a couple of free passes. Like, she gave us 4 movie passes, 1 admin each for the inconvenience. And so you can use that on whatever, and it expires in a month. So since Lightyear was out at the same time, we're like, let's watch Lightyear. Let's do a double feature out of it, you know? And that's what we ended up doing. So we ended up watching Maverick and then Lightyear. And then we were tired at the end of it because that led us into like midnight, 1 a.m. because we were there for so long. And so, yeah, when we went to go back, it was fine. It was perfect. It was playing, great time. You know, we saw the beginning of it because remember we walked in a little late. So maybe it was a good thing that it cut off because we could start it from the beginning, you know? So we enjoyed ourselves, but I just cannot believe that it just cut off randomly. I've never had a movie just do that, you know, ever in a cinema, you know? And that was the first time for that theater. first time for everything. Like I'm just like that. Oh, wow. Again, no theater has just shut off their movie in the middle of screening it. And so yeah, it just shows the lack of care there.
Yeah,
I
the
guess.
lack of care. I've never had that happen to me before.
Right.
Yeah.
Like,
I can't,
it's
can't
crazy.
say I have either. I think there might have been a point where it might have froze very temporarily, but that kind of it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like you guys were saying, about like the 8 million they spent for Nicole Kidman. Like, why don't spend 8 million to get new projectors?
Right.
Yeah.
It don't cost $1 million a piece.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, it makes no sense. Like all the nicer theaters are where we are downtown, further in the city, and of course it's way more expensive when you get down there. But stuff like that shouldn't happen, and if it does, shit, then that's how you know that's a crappy theater. But,
Yep.
But yeah, downtown usually it's a smoother ride.
Sweet.
Yes.
Yeah.
My biggest thing, so we have 2 theaters here. We have one that's like 10 minutes away from me, and then another one that's, I don't know, probably not even 20 minutes away. So sometimes, you pick and choose and you go, So one has the IMAX and one doesn't have the IMAX. But there's a split because the one that has the IMAX is an older theater that doesn't have the best sound. Whereas the newer theater doesn't have the IMAX but has better sound. So it's really like sometimes I have to be like, okay, if I'm going to go see IMAX, I'm going to that theater. If I'm not going to go see IMAX, I need to go to the one with the better sound because the older one, their speakers are garbage and their sound is trash. And I can't, like, it gets to the point where, like, I will not go see a regular showing in that theater because their sound, and I'm probably going, people are like, you're out of your mind, you're crazy. But I can tell it's just, the sound is not good. It's just not good. It's not up to my standards. But yeah,
especially
so
if you're paying for an IMAX ticket. I mean, that needs to be sound and picture.
Right. Well, IMAX is great, What movie was it that we saw recently where the sound was just blaring? It was in the IMAX. It wasn't, I like loud films. I'm just like, I'm like, sound mix the shit out of that. Like, crank that shit up. Like, I'm ready. Like, let's go. That doesn't bother me. But the girl that I was with, I could tell it bothered her. And I kept looking over and I'm like, oh, maybe it is mixed a little like, it's always off for me because I'm like, oh, I looked at her a couple times and I'm like, well, maybe it is mixed too loud. I'm like, oh, I don't know. I couldn't tell. I'm a bad judge because I like, pump that stuff up. I'm good to go. Right. But yeah, so it might have been a little too loud in that. Maybe that was Nope. I can't remember what we were seeing, but yeah.
Speaking of going on a movie date with someone, I remember I took this one girl that I knew from high school, and we went to go see Uncut Gems because she is an Adam Sandler fan. And then did you guys see it?
I did not see it in the theater. No.
Did you see the movie? You haven't seen the movie overall?
I've seen the movie, yeah.
Because my story contains a huge spoiler for the movie.
Spoiler warning.
Dude, go for it.
Go for it. I get the okay. All right. Hopefully, audience has seen it. If not, go and see it. Fun film. So it's funny, she's a huge Adam Sandler fan. She's like, oh yeah, this and that, and we go and watch it. And at the end of it, he gets shot in the face. Like he gets shot dead in the face, like just, and it's very quick. It's very traumatic, and then it like ends on the close up of the bullet hole in his face, and I'm like, wow. I'm like, what the hell, Safdie brothers? You fucking dramatized us at the end of this. Needless to say, she did not see another movie with me.
Oh,
I don't. And I'm like, that's not a first movie date. But don't see Uncut Gems on a first date, especially if they say, I like Adam Sandler. Let's watch this one. Great performance, but man, if they can't take trauma well, man, that's not a good one to watch.
Not a first date movie. Nope.
But yes,
that's why you go to Beauty and the Beast, my friend. And then you get to crawl on the floor.
Yes, exactly. No trauma there, just for you.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
That's cool. But yeah, that was just hilarious. I think back to
awesome. I mean, definitely not like a first date kind of movie. Like even from like a tiny little bit I've seen about the movie, not first date movie. You see if Respect is a comedy or a horror. Those two, both people are never the first date. I'd say more of a comedy probably, but yeah, yeah, dude, that's crazy. I mean, we've got some comments here. So like Ty was saying about IMAX. Like on news says, I remember when I watched Multiverse of Madness, I was expecting to see it in IMAX, and when I saw it was normal, and he was like, "What the hell is this?" Because I always watch IMAX. And yeah, I think that's a good point. I mean, I've only ever seen one movie in IMAX ever, because I've got like and you guys don't know if you guys got something similar where you have like a cinema card and you go see many movies in like a month or the amount of movies per month kind of thing.
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Yeah. So, well, over here in the UK, we've got where the cinema card I've got is you pay a monthly fee and you go as many times as you want. So, like, you can go like 4 times a day if you want. Yeah, it's in with the fee.
Yeah.
So the IMAX is completely separate to that cinema I go to, but it's like £20 a ticket, which is what, maybe $27 a ticket.
Yeah.
So I mean, not to say it's not worth it, because when I see the Batman like that, I think that heightened my experience of that movie.
Yeah.
Like just the sounds, especially that scene with the Batmobile. That was phenomenal. It's so good. But right, like if I could afford it, I would go like Lego News was saying, I would go see it in IMAX if I could. But we just haven't got one near us, so I've just got to stick to kind of just regular sound. But you're right though, Ty. There's times where I watch the movie, I'm like, this could do with being a bit louder.
Yeah.
Or like you were saying, I remember one of your reviews or one of your pre-recorded streams you were doing about Harry Potter on 4K. When you got that set, you noticed that there was new sounds in there you'd never heard before. Oh,
it's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Right. So obviously you're very well equipped with different sound or sound mixes, as you were saying. So I can understand why you go to an IMAX showing or go to that movie for like a better sound, but the pictures are maybe not as good.
Right.
Yeah. Was that 4K, that sound you hear, that enhanced sound that you never heard before? Is that all does that all come with the setup? Like, do you have that set up at home, like that surround sound that you're able to hear it? Or can you just have a 4K player, your TV connected, no speakers, and can you still hear that sound?
So the first time I heard it, we did have surround sound. It was at my uncle's place, and he has like the whole setup, the whole theater setup downstairs. So, that's how I was able to hear it the first time. And then once I watched it at home, like I can pick it up because I know it's there.
Okay.
Right.
All right.
But
interesting. So it does help with the surround sound.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Cool. Awesome.
Yeah. Well, so that's the thing. So back me, like my physical media collection here, I've got some like 4K titles, and the only 4K play I've got is my PlayStation 5. But I'm kind of waiting to like maybe one day, if me and my partner move house, to get like an actual. I want to make like a cinema room. That's been my dream.
Yeah.
I think it's a dream for a lot of people.
Exactly. Yep.
I'm kind of waiting for like that experience because I haven't got room here to have like big speakers or anything like that, or like LED lights above the TV to make it immersive kind of thing,
Yeah.
Right.
Whereas if you've got that set up, then I'll be it all the time.
Yeah, my uncle went all out. He's got like movie posters like lining the room, like on all the walls, and there was an old couch down there, and then he took it out and he installed like movie theater seating, and like they're like raised, and it's like, he went all out. It's pretty cool.
No one sits in B12. That's my seat. B12 is my seat.
Well, okay. Well, here's a question for you guys. I'm going to actually quickly go on these comments, and then I'm going to ask you guys a question. First, we've got Spanish. I'm assuming Spanish Vince saying, "Hey, y'all, how's it going?" So, hey,
it's good, man. It's good.
Thank you for tuning in. I'm assuming it's Vince with the one. So Jacob says IMAX is easily the most immersive way to watch a movie. Biggest issue is for me is besides being super expensive, it's not my general area. Yeah, I can get that, and I know with Jacob, and I know you guys as well. Like if you collect like physical media, I know like Jacob's got like a kind of like a couple of dollars theater, or like $1 theater it's called, but I don't know if they charge like $2-3 per movie.
Oh yeah,
we don't have that here. And like the amount of extra you could pay for IMAX, you can like own thing on physical media. Release kind of thing on like 4K even. So I get where you're coming from. Yeah. And Lego News says the reason I watched IMAX is because my friend's mom chose normal, but I still enjoyed the movie. Yeah. Glad that you enjoyed Multiverse of Madness, dude. Yeah. That's awesome. But again, it just depends what kind of cinemas and movie theaters you've got like next to you.
Yeah.
So yeah, completely. So here's a question I've got for you guys, right? So when you go to the movie theater, whatever movie you're gonna go watch, what is your seating preference? Where do you like to sit?
Usually
Go ahead, Christian.
Go with my parents. We tend to sit like near the aisle section, so it's like easy just to get up. We're not really bothering anyone. That's really the smart move there. And we like to sit towards the back entrance to see like the whole screen. Because I remember my mom doesn't really like sitting up all the way in front. But what I like with the recliners in certain theaters is that when you sit in the front and you recline back, the screen is not as close up to you when you have those traditional theater seatings. When you have those traditional theater seats, you gotta like move your head all the way around, to really get. I remember I saw a French Dispatch like that, and it was at a theater in like downtown in our city, and that had like the old school theater seats, no recliners. So I remember that was like all over the place, and the subtitles in the movie was like either it was above them, it was below them, it was to the side of them. Like it's Wes Anderson, he's putting the subtitles wherever, right?
Yep.
So I remember I always had to scan this, like, okay, oh crap, they're speaking French and they're so fast at doing it. So where's the next line gonna be at? But no, with the ones with the recliners, when we just sit in the front, I've always, like my friend, when we went to go see Top Gun Maverick, empty auditorium, he's like, I said, you pick where we sat. He went right to the front, right in the middle, and he reclined all the way back, and it felt like, the whole screen was right there in front of us. I'm like, damn, we cannot get this at home. We cannot, man. Like, we got to build this wall for this screen to be this big at home. So yeah, recently I do like with the recliners sitting in the very front, because it does space it out properly, so that's pretty cool.
Wow. Okay.
I'm very different. I like to be, I got to be in the center, and I got to be kind of in the back, well, not all the way back, but maybe like four or five rows from the back, because I want those IMAX speakers like close enough to me. Like I want to feel like when the walls rock, like I want to feel that. So I'm like, yep, put me here, and like we're good to go. If I'm off axis and if I'm not where I want to be, it kind of annoys me. I've never sat on the edge. Used to sit for like in the front rows when I was a child, back when I didn't know any better, and I didn't know where I didn't know how I had to see how I liked it, and so. But yeah, that's kind of where I like to sit.
Yeah.
Right.
Nice.
Yeah, I think probably for IMAX, because I remember when I went to see the Batman, I was like the back row. So I always try to sit back row or like the back 3 rows in the center if I can. Like, because I think it's just because like when I was a kid, when we did end up going to some shows that was like say packed and the only seats was the front row, like I always remember just having a bad neck. So and I think there's only that movie chain, sorry, that have the IMAX that is nowhere next to mine. Like they're the only ones who has recliner seats.
Okay.
So my normal cinema, you can like recline your chair back a little bit, but not enough to the point where you're like lying back, just like looking up,
Yeah.
So yeah, I've just never sat at the front ever since being a kid.
Makes sense.
But that's like my cinema experience, and I think like I hate like sitting on like right in the corner somewhere.
Yeah.
It's like you're gonna be like
off to the sides and stuff. Yeah.
Try and watch it all the time. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I've never sat like in the way corner before. Like maybe that's an interesting experience to experience. I don't know. Might have to try it out with something.
Right under the speaker, man. You get all of it.
I mean, if you want it loud, sitting in the corner, I guess.
Exactly. It might be too loud.
But nah, dude. Like, I think like the one thing I've noticed is like if you're always on like the edge or like in the corner, like your head's like twisted to like the side. So like by the end of it, like, you're gonna have a cramp here or here,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nah, not for me.
Yeah.
Well, like what you says, I go to Vox cinemas in the Middle East because I live there.
Oh, nice.
That's cool, dude. Have you guys got Vox? We don't.
I've never heard of that before. I'm curious. Do they have IMAX over there or no? Probably. I don't know if they do or not.
I don't know. I know you were saying something about IMAX before though, so I don't know. If it might like maybe something different. Jacob says I've had great experiences with IMAX though. So the original Beauty and the Beast for the first time back in 2002, Polar Express, Dunkirk, and the 3 Star Wars movies.
Crazy.
That's awesome.
Wow.
It's awesome.
That's quite a wide variety of different movies.
I was going to say, I definitely don't think there was not an IMAX out by me until Dark Knight.
Wow.
Yeah. I think Dark Knight was the first time there was an IMAX around me. So
Yeah, I lived in Chicago my whole life, so Navy Pier was the IMAX.
Navy Pier, yep, that's where we had to go. Yep.
And I remember the first. I think my earliest one is Lord of the Rings: Return of the King in IMAX. And back in the
That's
winter
so
of
cool, man.
2003. Yeah,
That's
I remember
so
driving
cool.
through. My parents were driving through snowy roads and stuff like that, and we really it looked like it was almost a blizzard out, and there was traffic everywhere because it was the holiday and it was also a weekend too. So, and then I remember we got there and it was just a packed theater, and that was the first time I heard an audience really roar in applause for a movie when he says "for Frodo" at the end, and they all just run. And that was just epic, man. I'm like, oh, that's so cool. So yeah, that was my first IMAX experience, and then of course Nolan's Dark Knight trilogy. I saw all three of those and IMAX as well. So yeah, it was pretty cool.
Awesome.
There was one experience. It's a horror. To me, it was a horror experience because it was, say what you will about Star Wars: The Last Jedi, but
Yeah,
that was the first time. That was the first time I sat in a movie theater and I could feel the hate. Like the people were not having fun, and like people were not enjoying themselves in the theater. It was so weird, man. I was like, oh, people are not liking this movie. Like you should normally, and this was like opening night, right? So this is like, these are the people that should love this movie. People were not liking this movie. People around, it was quiet. People weren't cheering, and it was such an eerie feeling. I was like, this is not how a Star Wars movie needs to feel. Like should feel like. So it was very weird.
Right. That's interesting. I mean, I don't know about you guys, and don't want to get too much off topic, but I liked Star Wars: Last Jedi. I mean, it wasn't terrible. It wasn't the worst one.
No, yeah,
no, definitely not.
No,
definitely not the worst one, but.
I'll rewatch that over Rise of Skywalker any day.
Rise of Skywalker's a complete mess. At least The Last Jedi and Rian Johnson was trying to do something different, and I will, I'm like, all right, cool. Like I applaud you for trying to do something different.
I just need the whole trilogy. Just need an overall vision.
Yes,
having people come in like, let me do my own thing. It's like. That's where Rise of Skywalker came in. It's like, okay, I don't know who to follow now. Let's try to pick up the pieces here. And your experience with Last Jedi was my experience with Rise of Skywalker. It was a packed theater, but everyone was silent. It was so awkward. Like you said, it feels so unnatural. Especially, and then I thought to myself, this is the end of the Skywalker saga? Wow. I was like, wow, man. Like, this is insane, man. And then little did we know we're going to get Luke Skywalker on the small screen, right? So we did get that fanfare, right?
We did, yeah.
But yeah, that theater experience just sent chills down my spine. Too quiet.
See, the thing is though here is like I see so many videos like of you guys in the States and you guys like cheering and clapping and all that.
We're animals, man.
Here in the UK, every showing is dead silent. Like we're not clapping or cheering. It's just literally silence.
It's like, show some respect. The movie's playing. What are you doing?
That's it, right?
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I think the times where I've heard like actual some noise is like Endgame, Infinity War, and No Way Home. They're the only experiences I've had where people have been like, like gasping or like Andrew Garfield or something.
Right. Yeah.
Like, that's it. And then besides that, it's dead. Like but so I'm used to like people like when it's like they're doing it when it's a DC Legal Super Pets. Like you guys in the States will be like, oh, it's natural. Kids, kids are talking, kids are cheering. Here we're just like shut the hell up. It's just one of those things. It's
talking dog, nothing to get excited over.
Exactly.
Right. Well, Jacob says the 3 Star Wars experiences he had of IMAX was Force Awakens, Rogue One, and Rise of Skywalker. Yeah, I can imagine Force Awakens and Rogue One, especially Rogue One, would be awesome.
Rogue One was great. Yeah, I really liked that.
Yeah, it's a good movie. We've got Cinematic Tendency saying, hey guys. So,
what's up, Cinematic?
Hello.
Got maybe a bit of a hot take here. Spanish Vice says Disney live action remakes are a complete waste of money.
For who?
Like the studio?
Not the studio, because the studio makes a butt ton of money off those movies. Yeah, they make billions of dollars. But if you're talking about the audience, I understand.
I think
Everyone's got their own opinion.
I think maybe I'm sorry. to interrupt.
No, it's just it's hit or miss with those, right? It's hit or miss. I think the Lion King remake was a big waste of money. For me, it's like, oh man, this was like. But I enjoyed the Beauty and the Beast one a lot.
Yeah.
So maybe that's because I'm a fan of Emma Watson. I don't know. Who knows? But hey,
she has a spot in my heart.
Right. I was gonna say she's very close to my heart, so I love that. But yeah.
Yeah, but in terms of complete waste of money, I see it as like you could be spending this money on new and creative ideas.
Yes.
The whole treading old grounds, retelling stories that we already know that are really well done in 2D animation. I mean, there's way more effort and artistic, quality that goes into that because that's hand drawn, man. So that's beautiful. Like if you don't see Beauty and the Beast from beginning to end, just watch the ballroom dance scene and take in that was hand drawn. That's just so beautiful and so fluent,
Yeah.
So yeah, to see that already done in a superior way and just to kind of like have an inferior version with so much money tossed to it, that's where you feel like it's a waste right there. Where else could that money have been spent? What other movies could we have gotten, by other filmmakers?
Yeah.
But unfortunately, I do agree with the live action Lion King, the CGI remake of Lion King.
Well, and a lot of we've gotten into this point. This might be a tangent, but I'll keep it short. There is this specifically with Lion King. It's like movies get made nowadays so that filmmakers and the film industry and the technology can get pushed even further because it's like, all right, we need to invest in technology. We need to, get these CG creatures to look a certain way. We need our cloth simulations to do this. We need our hair simulations to do this, our fur simulations to get to this, this level. We need the volume to be this good. And in order to do that, you need projects to test this, like to push the equipment. Same thing with like Avatar, the sequel. It's like, so in a way, it's like, it's a waste of money, sort of, but like, the technology wouldn't advance if we weren't able to successfully make these films and test it in with these movies. Yeah. So, I don't know.
Test it with some original ideas.
You could do that too.
No, I totally see what you're saying.
You could do that too. Yes.
Great. It's a great testing run for that.
Yeah. No, I agree, and I think like in regards to this comment from Spanish Vince, I think like you guys make great points, and I think I agree with both of them. Like, so for me, I've never seen. Again, another kind of thing here. I've never seen the original Lion King. I've only seen the live action one. But from what I've heard, I've seen the original Lion King through that. So
yeah, pretty much.
So for me, that was my introduction. But for example, one of my favorite movies last year was Cruella, and I'll stick up for that movie. People like don't like it. Fair enough, everyone's entitled to their opinion. But me, that was like one of my biggest surprises. And like I've seen that movie like 4 times. I think.
Oh wow!
Nice. Like a very small window. But like something like that for me though has got me intrigued to go check out the 101 Dalmatians movies or the 102 Dalmatians or see whatever they're doing.
Yep.
But yeah, I think Disney, like the live action ones, I don't think they're going to stop until they've done like all their back catalogue of what they can do.
Pretty much.
And then who knows? Like Christian was saying, they might come up with some original ideas after that. But for now, it's money. I think that's all these big studios around at the moment is money.
Yeah.
And then they'll be like, right, what can we make a sequel to? So I know Cruella's getting a sequel.
Right.
Yes.
So
and it is a safe bet to go with existing property.
It is
instead of gambling with their anything new. Like I think the new Pixar movie called like Strange
Worlds or whatever.
Yeah, Strange Worlds like that. That's all original. So far. And it does seem like, people would be like, hey, why were we interested? This just seems like leftover ideas from the Lightyear movie. It's like, why are we so interested?
Right.
But yeah, I'm glad to see it because, again, it's something new. I would like to see new characters come out and, tell new stories. So,
yeah. Yeah, definitely. And I mean, like another one, for example, here, another comment from Spanish Vince saying, I don't like any Disney classics at all.
All right.
Wow.
So I mean, for like,
that's a hot take.
For Vince, it could be the case of he sees these live action ones and might be like, oh, well, actually, I'm intrigued to go check out the original, like the source from it.
Right.
True.
But also, too, it's different, too, because especially the class, like, I don't know how old Spanish Vince, I don't know how old you are. So I think that plays a lot into it, too, because I know for myself and Christian, and it's like, I grew up in that time, right? Like those were like I was a child and like I grew up. I was the perfect age for all those Disney classic movies, or well, the Renaissance, right? Like Lion King and Aladdin and all that stuff. Like I was a child. So if it doesn't hit you there, like if you were born before that or if you were born after that, it may not grab you. So that nostalgia isn't there for you. So when these remakes come out, it's just not there, you know. So I can see where for some people, yeah, it just doesn't hit.
Spanish Fence, watch Lilo and Stitch, and come back to me.
And then watch the live action remake they're making and see how we feel.
No, don't watch that one. No. Don't touch it, man.
I'm not excited for that one.
It's happening.
I know.
I know.
And Guy Ritchie's doing Hercules.
Guy Ritchie is doing Hercules. Did you guys like his Aladdin? I know some people are like, it wasn't that bad, and they're excited for Hercules, and I'm like,
I think the musical numbers were cool. That was about it. It was like,
Okay.
oh, this is like nice choreography and this is nice production, and like I applaud the effort that went into the musical numbers, but that's about it.
all right.
Yeah, and I agree. Yeah, I'm not too keen for this Hercules one if it's by him.
Yeah.
But I'm not a huge fan of him as a director, I guess. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, at the end, I'll still go see it. I'll just go judge it when I see it, you know. But yeah, we've got cinematic scene. Closest I matched to around him is I've been closed to COVID supposed to next month. Well, I hope so too. I hope you can get to an IMAX soon. But crazy to hear that it's still closed though after all this time.
Yeah, right. That's pretty insane. Yeah, hopefully they do open and it goes.
Yeah, hopefully they open soon.
Right. Jacob was saying that he got to see Beauty and the Beast and Polar Express during a family vacation at Virginia Beach.
Oh,
So,
That's crazy.
and again, it's always like something like that you're always going to remember as well.
right.
Experience of seeing it. Cinematic. Well, D Movie Man's here, so hey D, hope you're doing
Hey,
good.
what's going on?
He says, glad to hear it's open back up. Have you checked out Dolby? So they're having a bit of a conversation. Lego News says, random thing, the Polar Express is a childhood Christmas movie. I watched it multiple times during Christmas times.
Same.
Yeah, dude, that's awesome. I've never seen it, so I can't.
That's awesome.
But
Yeah.
I've heard great things about it. It's on the list. Like every Christmas, I'm like, right, I want to go check out a new Christmas movie this year.
That's
And I
good.
do. I just haven't gotten that one yet.
Right.
But yeah, I will get that. I've heard
Yeah.
great
Yeah.
things.
I haven't seen that in so long. Yeah, I'd have to revisit that, see how it holds up.
Right, definitely. Well, we've also got Jamie from In the Front Row. So hey, Jamie, hope you're doing good.
What's up?
Hey.
I think it's going to be like 6 o'clock in the morning her time, 7 o'clock, something crazy like that.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Thanks for tuning in from Australia, Jamie. I hope you're doing good.
Every day with us.
Lego News says, yeah, Rise of Skywalker sucked. I enjoyed the movie the first time watching it, but at the same time realised it ruined Anakin's character.
Yeah.
Yeah, completely agree. D says, hey all, don't know if it's mentioned already, but I preferred Seaton and why. Yeah, D, so we're touching on kind of like Seaton before. Tyler kind of likes to be like in the center, kind of in the middle towards the back.
Yeah.
I'm more towards back, and Christian's more towards the front on the recliners. So yeah, we're talking about that before, but D said I tend to be dead middle in the center most of the time, but if not available, I prefer going up. Too low tends to strain my neck, and I feel like my eyes can't take in the entire screen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, unless it's like Christian was saying, like unless you got like a full recliner and like basically lying down and watching it.
Yeah. It's
Maybe
like
that way.
they space it out like it seems like 4 feet away from the screen. So when you recline back, it's like, yeah, you're at a good distance. Very
Right.
interesting. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I think it's interesting, like, you know, where everyone prefers to sit. Like, I've never really thought about it. I'm just like, oh, I'm supposed to see what you can do.
It's just like a psychological thing that we all do.
Right. Well, that's right, yeah. Well, Spanish student said, I've just subbed to you. So, yeah, thanks, Vince. And if you
yeah,
can
man.
go sub over to Tyler and to the lens, also the links are in the description box.
Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate it.
But yeah, thanks, man. Yeah, so I just want to ask you guys, have you got any other stories that you want to share? I'm excited to hear some.
I have a couple.
Go
ahead.
for
So they're both Spider-Man. Surprise.
Okay.
Big Spider-Man fan here. So went to go see No Way Home for the first time. Packed theater, IMAX. Getting the tickets to that was crazy. You know, you were trying to, you were hitting the refresh button on the app and you're trying to get your seat. So I ended up just picking whatever seat I could grab. And I got to the theater and I ended up sitting in between, but wasn't able to go with friends. Went completely alone, which was a spiritual experience for me. It was great. We were by ourselves. We were watching Spider-Man, and I was in between these two girls who were were definitely seemed like way younger than me. They definitely like teenagers. I don't know. They did not seem like they were, and I think their boyfriends were on either side of them, and they did not seem like they wanted to be there. And it was just like not the most ideal, like the least ideal situation to be in for me,
right?
For this Spider-Man movie. So you'd have things happen, right? Like Green Goblin or like Andrew Garfield or Tobey Maguire would come on, and everybody be cheering, and like I just didn't want to like. I don't know. It felt weird because I wanted to like, really get excited.
Yeah.
Right.
And I'm just like, well, these two next to me are like, just some sack of potatoes here. Like they could care less. They did not care. And I was like, this isn't really that, like it was fun, but it wasn't as fun as it should have been for me. And I was just like, this is a bummer. Like,
who are those guys?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, these kids, they looked like 16, maybe 17. And I'm like, you didn't grow up with these guys. Like, you don't know what this is. Like, you don't care about Tobey Maguire. You don't care about Andrew Garfield. Like, you were a tiny child when this happened. So I don't know. And I was just like, well, and I was hoping, because I remember I sat down and I was like, okay, I know they're not going to be at my level of excitement, but I was like, I hope maybe they're, Nope. They were just sitting there, and I'm like, really? You're not?
Nothing?
You're not into this? Like, all right, whatever. So.
Crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
They were being good girlfriends. They were there for their men.
Yes.
They were probably really wanting to see that. And they're like, all right, let's go and watch it.
Yeah, they were there for their boyfriends probably. Yeah. The other one I think was it Far From Home? I think it was either Far From Home or Homecoming. I can't remember. Spider-Man. And went with my friend, and we got into the theater, and somebody was sitting in his seat because we have assigned seats. Right. And it got pretty heated. Just put it that way. Wow. Almost a fight, because that guy, they were like back and forth. The guy was like, no, this is my seat. And my friend's like, nope, it says it right here on my ticket. And the guy's like, it also says it right here on my ticket. And it got kind of heated a little bit. There was a little bit of an argument, but wow. I don't know. They figured it out somehow, and yeah.
Wow, crazy.
Dude, there's honestly, there's nothing worse, and this really like knocks me a lot, is when you go to the cinema, even if the showing's full or it's not full, I've got my assigned seat out, I've booked that seat, and some jackass is sat in my seat. And then the thing is, they're always like, hey, am I in your seat? Oh, I didn't realise, I'm like, for fuck's sake, read a ticket. It says, like, get the hell out of here,
Right, yeah.
And it's like, perfect example I can share, like a story very quickly that you've actually brought up that I've just remembered, is me, my partner, my mum, and my two young nephews went to go see Lightyear at a very small screen next to where I live. And literally this screen's got maybe like 7 rows, and that's the entire cinema. It's very, very small. Nice. Mm-hmm. So obviously there's only 7 rows. There's going to be a lot more people in there because it's not a big screening.
Right.
This cinema I went to literally only has 2 screens. That's it.
Nice. Right?
Yeah. And I don't normally go there, but because it was like nearby, it was pretty cheap. I was just like, look, we'll go see it there. I don't mind.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
And as soon as we went in, people sat in our seats, and I was like... but then my mum and my partner was like, no, just leave them. We'll go find somewhere else, right? And then I'm like, well, what if someone comes in, we go sit down and like, oh, well, you're in our seats.
Exactly.
But then we have to go back to them people originally and be like, well, that's our seats, right?
Yeah.
So ultimately, they took like the seat below, like where we were supposed to sit, and then me and my partner sat on like the other side of them, like in an other like complete separate area. Mm-hmm. But I'm just like, why do you even need to do that? Like, fucking just get their asses out of there. I hate it. Yeah. I don't know about you guys. I really gets on my last nerve.
Yeah. No,
I try to hold myself together, but I can't sometimes.
Yeah. It's you got to keep it together. I think it's just arrogance. It's like people, or I don't know. Like sometimes do people see the seat number and they just think it's a suggestion? Or it's like, oh, I reserved and maybe they do. Maybe they reserve a seat and they're like, okay, we are guaranteed to have a seat in the theater. But then they get in the theater and they're like, oh, well, I want those seats. Well, those people aren't here, so let's just sit in those seats because maybe they're taking a gamble. They're like, well, maybe they won't show up, and then we can sit where we want to sit. I think that's pretty rude. It's like, nope, just sit in the assigned seat that you picked originally. But I do. Maybe there's just people that are gambling and they're like, these people aren't going to show up.
And if they do show up, get up. I mean, it's like it's not hard. If they're showing up, you lost. That's the gamble you took. But yeah, it's funny how people fight for that, even though it's not theirs. First come, first serve.
Yeah, it's very strange.
Dude, it's annoying. And I mean, like going back to Spider-Man as well, what Tyler was saying about his example about sit next to these two people who wasn't interested. Well, Christian, I mean, you made a good point. They're definitely there to support the men when they were crying when Andrew Garfield and Toby showed up. But I remember I went to see the movie twice that day. The first one I could see was 9 o'clock in the morning because I was like, right, I need to see this movie before it gets spoiled.
Yes.
But also, like, obviously, because we review movies on YouTube, like, if you're not one of the first, sometimes you miss out on, like, it even, like, getting noticed by anyone.
Yeah.
Kind of thing, right? So I was like, right, I'm going to go see it at 9 o'clock. I was excited for this movie as it was. And I remember sat next to me at 9 o'clock in the morning, bear in mind, someone, like, eating popcorn so loud. And I'm like, dude, I appreciate you into the action. I appreciate it's like 9 o'clock in the morning. You need something to, like, make you up. But, like, it's just, like really, like, loud chomping, like, non-stop like that. And I was like, for fuck's sake, man, shut up. There's only so much you can do.
Yeah.
And like, another knock for me is, like, when someone's talking to me when the movie's on as well.
Yeah.
I'm just like, no.
Yeah.
To the end of the movie.
That doesn't happen,
True. Yeah.
Luckily,
it was a cool moment, like when I went to see Spider-Man No Way Home with my partner, she was like tapping us on the shoulder. She was like, "It's Garfield." I was like, "I know," I don't mind.
Yeah.
But it's like when I'm talking to Mill and they're like, "Oh, so what's happening here?" I'm like, "Fucking, I don't know."
They probably have the answer, but you asked me something.
Right, exactly. Yeah. And we're in this theater and the sound is too low. I don't know. They need to turn the sound up. Because you're talking to me the whole time.
Yeah.
Well, dude, exactly. Spanish Vice says tonight I'm going to watch a young romance movie called Let It Snow on Netflix. Well, awesome, dude. Hope you enjoy it.
Cool.
Never heard of it.
No, I've never heard of it either. You got to let us know how it is.
Yeah, definitely. Christian, have you got a story to share?
Yeah, something similar in the vein of like chewing popcorn loudly. I don't like when it's like the movie's very quiet. It's in like those quiet moments, especially when like a horror movie, and someone's like crinkling the bag of their snacks or whatever, or their candy, and they're trying to open it and stuff. I'm like, why didn't you just open this during the trailers or something? Like
exactly.
Make sure everything's open.
Or the Nicole Kidman spot. Come on.
Nicole Kidman spot.
Yeah, right.
Exactly. You got 10 extra minutes to do that. But no, they wait in the middle. It's like, oh yeah, I have sweethearts, and then they even grabbing the bag slowly, and that's the thing too. They think doing it slowly is gonna sound less loud.
Right.
So it's just dragging it out just longer.
Right.
And I'm just like, oh my god, just take it and chew it and swallow it. Just eat it already, So yeah, I don't like when a lot of people do. I think someone did that during the Black Phone when I went to go watch the screening of that in the movie, and there was a moment where it got quiet. It was like especially the interaction between Ethan Hawke and the main kid. Yeah. Those moments are pretty quiet. So I remember you trying to hear and pay attention to what he's saying, especially since he's muffled with the mask and stuff like that. So you're trying to make out and stuff, which sound design is pretty clear on it. But then you just hear fucking just slowly, like on the left side, like it's coming from the left. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, why are you doing that right now? Like there's loud moments in this movie. So do it then. Like, know how to pace it out. Know how to time it out, man. It's like, man, that sucks. That always irritated me. It never stood out until my mom said something. Remember, like, it probably happened like a long time ago where we were watching, some movie and they may be finding me or something, something old. Maybe one of the Harry Potter movies. It might have been one of the Harry Potter because we've seen like almost all of them in theaters when they came out. And she was just like, God, that gets on my nerves so much. And then I paid attention to it. And now I cannot unhear it. Whenever someone does it, it's just like, yeah, that will get to me. And sometimes I try not to do it myself because there's like when I have a soda or an icy and there's a lid on it and the straw that rubs up against the lid, like, it's like you're moving furniture. I'm like, oh my God. It's like, now I'm the one doing it. Like, so when I hear other people do that, it does get annoying. Yeah.
Yeah. totally. Like you were saying, like I've timed it now where if it's like a loud sequence coming up, I like just like absolutely cram my face with popcorn and like, right, it's cool,
Now
you know,
the
no one
time.
can hear that.
Yeah.
Right.
Mhm.
I remember because I remember once, right, I went to go see a Quiet Place, the first one,
Oh,
and I stupidly bought popcorn because I thought it's called a Quiet Place, but shoot's not gonna be that quiet, you know?
Right. Right.
Yeah, I was wrong.
It was pretty quiet.
yeah.
Yeah.
I end up like every popcorn like piece I had, I made sure that I had to like have a drink with it to like really soften it so you couldn't hear it at all. At the end of my jaw was really sore.
Yeah, you were like,
Wow.
oh,
Oh my god.
Right.
That's hilarious.
But we're talking about popcorn. Jacob says I had a similar experience where my family watched the news of the world. A woman sat next to us eating the popcorn too loud, and there was distraction, especially for his dad, who was sat closest to her. And then Jamie says, "That's my man, Jacob. He always crunches on the quiet, sad bit too, like everyone's hanging on by edge." Yeah, it's true.
oh.
And Spanish Vice says, "I'm going to go watch a movie now." Yeah, let us know in the next stream there, Spanish Vice. I'll be live again on Thursday. Yeah, let me know if that movie's any good.
Cool, yeah.
Thanks for tuning in, dude. It's been
Don't
awesome.
shoot too loudly.
Don't shoot too loudly, yes.
Right.
Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, Tyler, do you have any other stories you want to share?
No, nothing crazy. I just remember around the time of The Dark Knight when the shootings and stuff happened around that time. Or Dark Knight Rises, sorry. When that premiered and like going to that premiere and that like that happening kind of soured my experience with that movie because I remember kind of being all on edge about that, you know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah.
like, and that just always got brought up into my mind. And even when I still watch the movie to this day,
Yeah.
I just always remember that. I'm like, oh man. And even to this, like pretty much any movie I'm in, there will be times where I'm like, this is really sad and dark, but there are times where I'm like, okay, like it could happen.
Dude, I'm so glad you brought that up because I thought I was the only fucking one.
Nope, I did it in Top Gun. I was like
there's doesn't happen all the time, but there's moments where it just comes to me. I'm like, holy fuck, what if it does happen right now?
Yep.
What is the quickest way out? You know, like especially the one when every time I go to a movie theater downtown. I remember I was watching when I was younger, watching the remake of Evil Dead. You guys ever seen that? But it's a good remake. It's one of my favorite remakes. It's not that bad. I like how it's a different turn.
It's awesome.
But we watched it. Pretty scary movie, really violent movie, right? And I'm thinking like some wackos in here, maybe, man. Like, you know, we don't know what kind of movie these people attract, you know, kind of people this movie attracts. So, and then I remember there was a dude that kept standing up and walking back and forth behind us, and it was just like it seemed like he kept going to the bathroom, kept going to the concessions, no matter what it was, and then he was standing over by an exit, and I just remember feeling that, and I just wasn't even watching the movie after a while, and just watching him. Because I'm like, what is this guy gonna do? You know, and I was 10, maybe 11, depending on what year that came out. And I was just like, this is fucking scary. I'm like watching over my shoulder all the time now, and that's because of the scare of what happened with the Dark Knight Rises screening. You know, and I remember when I went to go see Dark Knight Rises in IMAX, it was funny because we always took my grandmother with us to go see she saw the Dark Knight trilogy in IMAX with us. It's so funny. I remember that back. She's like, sure, I'll go. Like, this is Batman, because she remembers the 60s Batman. So when she saw this Batman, she's like, wow, they're doing something different with this.
Very different, yep.
Just like,
my grandma's the same, yeah.
Yeah. So we took her, and I remember when we went to IMAX to see Dark Knight Rises, there was a couple of teenagers behind us, and I remember, so I was 12 because that came out in 2012 now, which is crazy to think now. But they were behind us, and they were you know, goofing off, chatting amongst themselves, whatever. But again, may I remind you, the shooter that did the horrific crime, he said that he was inspired by the Joker, which is like, you know, a big messed up thing. So the teenagers, one of them was like, I remember he said, I'm gonna do my Joker laugh when like everything goes dark before the movie starts. He's gonna do his Joker laugh to really get fucking like hyped up for the movie or whatever. Talk about wrong place, wrong time. He did it. No one reacted. It was just like you can hear a pin drop. because it was so damn awkward when he did it. It wasn't even a good Joker laugh, mind you. It was like the cheapest. Like, you guys, if you just try it right now, could do a better Joker laugh than what he did. It was just not good, and it just like, yeah, it just gave us a sense like, oh fuck, do we have to watch out for this guy now? You know, because like, who would like really want to disturb the peace like that, even knowing what happened? So hearing that was like, yeah, dude, wrong place, wrong time. You know, so that was really, you know. But the movie was all right. You know, the movie was pretty good. People still enjoyed it. You know, they like Bane and stuff like that. But yeah, that start to it was just like, no, dude, you didn't hype us up. You worried us. It's like, oh fuck, you reminded us of like, you know, there's a risk of us being here. No one wants to be reminded of that. You know.
Sure.
So, that was a little upsetting.
I think it's just like, I think it's just one of those things though, like, because you know we don't have kind of like, well, no one has a gun over here, obviously, you know, apart from like the police and stuff like that. But yeah, you know, it's just crazy to think because, you know, like when it happens in schools, you know, those people just think, right, I'm just going to school for the day. You know, I'm going to go home at whatever time to finish. Right, I'm going to go home, get some dinner or something. You know.
Yeah.
Or like you guys, you know, you're just going there to see a movie.
Mm-hmm. It happened in school though too. There were days where like, and it's crazy. It's like some days you're totally fine, right? And some days, yeah, you'd go to school and you'd be like, this may be the last time I do this.
Right. Yeah. And I think it's just crazy that like, you guys have to think about that.
Yeah.
Like in the UK, you know, we've been fortunate enough, but we don't. You know.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, we have like, I'd say, more knife crime than anything. In general. So, but I mean, we don't ever think, or we've never heard of like stabbings in cinemas, for example. Otherwise, you know, I'd be like, right, like, you know, them like offices where you can get like the walls to separate you.
Mm-hmm.
I'd be like, right, I wanted to bring my own walls into the cinema, so I'm like, right, I've got my own cubicle. But dude, like, that's crazy. I mean, like, for example, Jacob was saying here, like he remembers the Dark Knight Rises shootings as well at that time, and horrible tragedy.
Oh, that's smart.
Tension he saw it in the drive-in, which is awesome. But he said the sound of the drive-in was terrible, though, being especially hard. As it is, never mind in the drive-through.
Yeah.
And Jamie was saying, I feel sadly, guys, that you have to feel like that. You can't even go to a movie and enjoy it without constantly, maybe possibly even the fear that could happen. Yeah, definitely. And we've got Lego News saying, currently watching the stream and doing his Lego Avengers Kang Dynasty trailer for his channel.
That's cool. Awesome. That is awesome.
Well, Tyler and Christian will be talking about that on the rendered image with the San Diego Comic-Con footage, Lego News. So go over to their channel. That would be awesome.
Kang is coming.
But yeah, I think what we'll do, we'll probably wrap this up. So just before we do, firstly, I want to thank both Tyler and Christian for being here. It's been a blast. It's great having you guys back on the channel.
Oh, yeah, man.
Yes.
Tyler, we'll let you go first. Do you want to just promote what's coming up on your channel?
Yes. Okay. So, Christian and I and Shannon, we're obviously going to be recording a rendered image tonight. It's going to be about San Diego Comic-Con, Kang Dynasty, Secret Wars, all the Marvel news, Wakanda Forever trailer. We're going to talk about it all. It's probably going to be a long show, so if you're into long-form content, we got that coming up. I have to film my Nope review, and I have to get that out, and then I'm going to be diving deep into breaking more filmmaking stuff, so I have a couple videos coming up. I'm going to break down the Rings of Power trailer from an editing perspective, and then I'm going to be breaking down a couple music videos from a cinematography perspective, so I'm going to have those videos come out pretty soon. So
cool.
Sweet.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Dude, that's awesome. Like, I don't think I've ever seen any trailer reactions of, like, editors or, like you said, like, the cinematography.
Mm-hmm.
I just watch, like some trailer actors, like, you guys do them, or, like, Rashad or whoever like that, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that looks cool compared to the way it's composed.
So the editing breakdown is going to be the Rings of Power trailer, and then the cinematography breakdown is going to be music videos. So, got a couple. I'm gonna start doing that. I really want, like I said, I want to start producing more filmmaking content. And I know, Jamie. We know Jamie. She does interviews with people, and so I know some people in the industry that I want to get on and do interviews with. So,
yeah,
I'm very excited to be doing that. And then when he gets his film ready to be screened, hopefully, or we'll talk about that. I really want to talk and interview Christian because there's a lot of things in the work too.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, sounds like you've got a lot coming up, and I'm excited to check it out. Like I say, I think it's like I mean, I like when you guys do trailer reactions, because for me, right, if I was to watch a trailer now, I'd just be like, you know, no one wants to see that though. They want to be like, wow, come on, you know, like really excited. I'm just like, when I watch trailers, I'm not like that. I might get moments I'm like, oh, you know, but like that's like the maximum of it. It'd be like the most boring reaction in the world, so I just don't do them.
It honestly does really help if it's a trailer or a movie you really want to see. You know?
Yes.
And it's like for us, you know, if it's going to be like anything Marvel, of course, we're going to be interested. And if it's like, but if it's a certain, like, if we see an Avengers trailer, of course, we're going to be like, you know, it's like, there's no time to critique. We're just going to like freak out about it.
But then there's like the Monster trailer where it's like, we're interested, but we're curious.
We're curious, but it's like, whoa, you know, it's like, that's the beauty of it now. It takes some time to get used to, you know, to get that reaction. Because I was like that a long time, just watching stuff and just taking it in as it is. But yeah, it really helped with the stuff that I was excited for. Just like, yes, that's cool, you know. Yeah,
dude. Yeah, so I recently saw your trailer reactions for the Monsters.
Yeah,
and bear in mind that was the first time I watched that trailer.
Okay.
Right, so I was kind of watching along with you guys, and at the end of it, I was like, "What the fuck is this?" And you guys were like, "Oh, you know, it looks quite cool and stuff like that." I was like, "What the fuck have they got this from?" You know?
We did not watch the same.
Well,
trailer.
did you? So I'm curious. Do you have any experience with the original Monsters or no?
No. So I mean, to me, obviously, I'm going in as a brand newcomer.
All right, for sure.
But you guys, like, you know, I get the brief when you guys were talking about it. You guys have had experience of it.
Yeah.
So obviously, you know a bit about it, and you're probably thinking, oh, you know, kind of looks like maybe same style or ties in quite well, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
It does have that campiness to it, and that's what the original show also had as well. Yeah. You know, it's not taking itself too seriously because it's monsters mixed in with our real life, you know, and that's what they deal with too. It's like they're being discriminated against, and that's what the show delved into, which is why the show is really great. It's like, oh, despite us looking different, we still have hearts of gold. We still have pure intentions. You know, we don't want to do harm onto others, but people look at us and they walk the other way and stuff. So I don't think he is, but if Rob Zombie could capture that and really sell that,
it's not even
that would be cool. But I don't think
it's not even going to theaters anymore.
Yeah, it's going straight to Netflix and physical release.
Yep,
the safe route. Honestly, that's like nowadays that's the safe route when it comes to distribution.
They looked at the response to that trailer and they said, "Ooh, this ain't gonna make any money in the theater. We need to pull this."
Like, go to Netflix, you know.
To be honest though, that movie will do better on Netflix.
Yeah,
because like for example, like I saw, like, you know, I said before, like, you know, I've got one of those cinema cards where I can go see whatever, right?
Yeah.
So for people like me and like you guys, even if you knew nothing about it, you might be like, oh, you know, I'll just go check it out. I've got my cinema pass. I'll go see it, right?
Right. Yeah.
But like, see if none of us had those cards and we were just going to spend our, you know, work and money to go see a movie, you know, we're more likely to go check out Top Gun or, you know, like the Batman or whatever. You know? So I think for like the Monsters, like a lot of people who don't have those cards, they're going to be like, I'm going to waste my money on this crap. You know?
Yeah.
But it's like Netflix. To be honest, I'm more happy to check it out on Netflix. If it's terrible, I'll turn it off.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know, it's movies like the upcoming Predator movie Prey that I would go into the theaters to see.
Yeah.
But it's on Hulu. You know, like that's actually one I would go and pay money to see, you know, because that looks really good, you know. But I'm glad it's on Hulu, you know, you can see it there, but I want to see it on a big screen, you know, which I don't have access to at home. But yeah.
But this is the thing though, like the new Predator, for example, Prey, is like the last movies have been terrible. Especially the last one was
The Predator. Yeah.
Right. So I think because that one's probably panned at the box office.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, I've heard apparently early reviews for Prey is going to be really, really good, so I'm excited. But I think like studios probably like, well, we're not going to take that chance again. Like, especially like after last time, you know.
Yeah.
Been burned too many times right there. Like, no, we don't want to risk it.
Like, for example, like what news says, oh no, the monsters look effing awful. I really enjoyed the old TV show because I used to watch it on my dad's iPad, and the new one just looks awful. But yeah, you know, I think it's one of those where it's still going to capture like intrigue.
Yeah.
You know. By the way, Lego news as I sub to both you guys.
Oh, thank you, man.
Awesome.
Thanks, man.
Thank you. I can't wait to see your Lego Kang Dynasty trailer you're working on. I'm gonna definitely check that out. It's gonna be cool.
Yeah, Lego News is an awesome channel, and he does like a lot of Lego customs as well, which is really, really cool. So yeah, definitely check them out.
Cool.
But yeah, man, so I'm looking forward to the content you got coming out, dude. And you know, you guys, and that's why I love your trailer reaction for the monsters, because you analyze that way differently than I have, like the experience-wise of it, and you guys can break down cinematography or like the editing styles of it, or whatever the case should be. Whereas I'm just like, you know, face value, like, it doesn't look great, kind of thing, you know.
Yeah,
Rob Zombie should have kept it black and white. I think that would have helped.
Yes,
the color shows the
I would like that
on the production design.
Yeah,
I would have liked that, because the thing is as well, if you kept it in the black and white, like, would have had that intrigue, because not many movies are like that now.
Right.
So
yeah.
immediately, people's gonna be like, "Oh, okay, well, like, why are they going black and white for?" You know.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, he should have said that route, but oh well.
Yeah. Definitely.
The Wednesday movie looks cool though.
Right.
Yeah,
which is also coming around the same time on Netflix, so that's interesting.
So when's it actually coming out?
October. October, around that Halloween season.
Yeah, I remember when we reported that on the rendered image a long time ago when that poster came out or whatever. So
yeah,
it's a long time ago.
Yeah, before they had the reading.
October.
Yeah, it does make sense. Yeah. Rob Zombie's first family-friendly film is coming to us this October on Netflix.
Yeah, we'll have to watch it. We'll have to check it out. Yeah. I don't know if we can get Shannon to watch it, but who knows?
No, I don't think he can.
No,
he's like, I have better things to do.
That's his response usually. I got better things to do than watch that crap. All right,
like,
sure.
I think I'm gonna sit this one out.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Right. Well, if you guys need a replacement, let me know.
Yeah, for sure.
Outside opinion on the whole thing.
It'd be fun. Yeah, hell yeah, man.
Well, Christian, what about yourself? What have you got coming up on your channel?
Well, in keeping with the topic of Predator, they have all the Predator movies on Hulu, so I will be rewatching all of them and reviewing all of them for this Friday when Prey drops. I will be watching that as well. I'm on Predator 2 right now. I just finished the first one. Holds up. Still remember it being as awesome as it is. 2 is really goofy, man. 2 is like, it's crazy to know that Gary Busey is probably the best thing.
Oh wow!
Given the best performance in that movie, and that tells you that everything is goofy in that movie when Gary Busey is serious. But that's awesome. Yeah, total like different vibe from the first one. You know, so yeah, very interesting. And then I'm gonna rewatch, of course, Predators, which is the Robert Rodriguez, and Adrian Brody stars in it. Rodriguez produced it, so there's a lot of Rodriguez-esque concepts in there, like all the gadgets that they use. It's like very Spy Kids-esque almost, you know. So I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. I don't remember hating that one too much, but again, I'm gonna rewatch it to see if it holds up. And then I remember The Predator, like you said, was just no. Yeah, I might just skip The Predator. No, I'm kidding. No, I'll give it a review, just you know, in celebration for Prey. So yeah, stay tuned for that on my channel.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Sweet, dude. Yeah, well, I'm looking forward to it. I think I remember from like Predators. I didn't hate the movie. I was told the only time I seen it was in the cinema. But and I remember like I enjoyed it for what it was.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm excited
over
to see
the top great, but yeah.
Well, I'm excited to see how it holds up when you check it out again and review it.
Yeah.
I'll certainly check it out. So please go subscribe to Tyler and Christian. The links are down below in the description box. As for myself, I've just released a Mike Tries a new episode of trying Marshmallows Coca-Cola.
I saw that. Yeah, I need to check that out. Yeah.
So yeah, got that one. I've got a Shudder screener tomorrow for what Josiah saw, and I've been pretty heavy on YouTube for the last 4 or 5 days. Nice. So I'm taking a break to like Wednesday or Thursday, so no more content after tomorrow for me.
Nice.
Recharge the battery.
Well, exactly. We've got like news very quickly saying I like the animated Addams Family movie, but the second one looked kind of bland for him.
Okay. Interesting. I gotta check out that first animated movie then.
Yeah, I haven't seen the first one, so I gotta check that out.
Nah, I think that's all of us really. And he also says my Avengers trailer won't come out till maybe the end of the month because I have 28 scenes left to do, and add the voice acting and sound effects.
Nice.
That's sooner than the actual movie. So.
Exactly. You're gonna beat it. I know. I'm looking forward to it. Thanks for giving me a timeline though, so I know when to keep my eyes open.
Man.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, again, anyone who's watching live after the fact, thank you so much for tuning in. Please go subscribe to my guests and please help them get to 350 for Tyler Babb as well. Go support the guys over at the Rendered Image. They do. I'm pretty sure it's every week, right? The show.
Yeah, we try to do it every week. Obviously, last weekend missed because I was at a wedding. But yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Sweet. So yeah, so please go subscribe to them. And yeah, guys, we're going to sign out. So until the next time that you see us, we'll